Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome to one of the highlights of my day. It's here. It's Radio Free Wall Street. And we are going to talk about things that people want to talk about. And we're going to give you things that people don't want you to know. And we're going to help you put conclusions together so you understand the sordid world we live in. You know, as I do these shows, I try to make them special. They're very important to me. I've been doing this for, 20 years, more. And I never forget the relevance of voices that are in opposition. And in this blow-dry, powder-puff world where media is controlled by 2 or 3 entities, they pretend to be like really cool and far out and really, I'm a radical guy. And it's basically a stage game or it's controlled. It's part of a political agenda. I hate all the politicians. I don't give a shit, the Republicans or Democrats. I think they're all thieves and screwed up. I guess I hate all authority. When I was a kid, they told me that I had no respect for authority. I didn't realize it was a compliment because most of them are freaking idiots. And the deal is that they want to control you. They want to ruin your lives. Now, we have a very interesting situation developing. I was thinking about this. I took a break because I had a really crazy day and the time slipped away from me, and I needed a few minutes to collect my thoughts. I like my quiet time, and I have a lot of it. And it's when it's that pensive moment where you think about things, and you have those funny feelings, and you want to you want to get them in perspective, and all the noise and the chatter and contention. I mean, we're arguing about ice, whether you should have ice agents or not ice agents, and it's night ice and this ice, and it's crazy shit. We have no lack of law enforcement in America. We have no lack of people with badges and guns. Okay, we have no lack of confrontations among the people. I mean, that's pretty obvious. But one of the things that really, really, really struck me was that I'm following Donald Trump on this trade war. Okay, and I thought about it. I thought, well, listen, we got to really, we have got the grain farmers at contention, the soybean guys especially. We've got the pig farmers there. We got a dairy war going on. And then I thought, well, shit, we got a steel war. We got aluminum. We've got embargoing in oil, so we got oil in there. And then we got automobiles, a new thing. I thought about, holy shit. There's not much left on the table. Donald Trump's not putting this battleground. I mean, they're fighting over every damn thing, including, motorcycles and whiskey and even frigging Heinz ketchup. I mean, holy shit, I never thought we'd be in the middle of a ketchup war. And you thought about this and you go, it's like the whole world's being unglued and unhinged. I mean, it's aluminum tariffs. And look at this. What I really understood was that Donald Trump's authority, by the way, is to declare a state of emergency. In other words, the tariffs against automobiles are part of affecting the military readiness of the United States of America to protect itself. And Mercedes-Benz coming in to America at an unfair duty amount is not, in honesty, is not an issue of what the tariffs on the other side. He's saying that the Mercedes-Benz that come in here are a matter of national security of the United States of America. Whoa. Shit, I don't know what the hell they got in the trunk of those things, but it must be some pretty bad shit. I mean, whoa. And he's saying that steel and aluminum affects the military readiness of the United States of America. Holy shit, I didn't realize that. Whoa. We're in real trouble now, huh? So he's taking this authority on the basis of a very obscure clause that says that countries can go ahead and embargo and put tariffs on things that will affect the ability of the country to defend itself. So, I guess that Harley-Davidson is part of, protecting itself from, I don't know, cops use those motorcycles in days gone by. Where are we going here? What is the end game? What in the hell are we accomplishing? We are in a trade war that is affecting so many items, it's hard to keep track. General Motors said that they're going to have to close plants and fire people over this thing. Harley-Davidson, as a matter of national security, is going to have to set up a motorcycle factory over there in Europe. Of course, they didn't mention the fact that they've had them overseas for years. So we've got things that are spinning out of control with a president that is enjoying the chaos. And We are now in for a tit-for-tat trade war, and it's really getting ugly. And, take a minute with me and think about this. Pigs in Iowa? Dairy products in Wisconsin? Oh, my God. We've got a country that's really in trouble here that's being defended from all these hazards. And the reality is that things are getting uglier and uglier. And, we are looking at a situation where all of a sudden what got to be this little electioneering kind of with the Trump chumps is rapidly spinning out of control. And then you have to sit there and ask yourself, well, where is this going to end up? And, well, if you really think about it, you have got gasoline prices that are now at their highest level in more than 3 years. Just in time for the 4th of July weekend. And they are actually pumping this issue that there is a significant shortfall in supply. Well, really? So the situation is that we are not in a short supply. We are not in a crisis. We are not in a steel crisis, okay? It's not affecting our military readiness. We're not in an aluminum crisis, okay? This is bullshit, okay? The car tariffs are the car tariffs. And what's happening is we are now into an area that makes no sense. What are we fighting over? The tariffs? On the basis of national security? But we've withdrawn from the trade organizations? Donald Trump calls NAFTA a joke. So the question is, where does the negotiation begin? At the point of a gun? Where does the situation resolve itself? How do we negotiate? Now we've got things are getting uglier, okay? We got Merkel that has her political problems in Germany. We got May that's got her problems in England. We got the European Union that's in an uproar. We got Canada that's up for grabs. We got Mexico that's got a lefty commie socialist that will make Chavez look like a free-thinking free trader. I mean, this is really going out of here to a point where we're in the danger zone. We are absolutely in wars on trade over issues that we don't need to fight. Hang on, green tea time. How nice. Now, the narrative is that supply disruptions are going to affect our oil supply. And they point to disruptions all over the world. Well, there's disruptions of everything all the time. I mean, that's how the world works. And the Trump administration is at cross purposes. On the one hand, they're concerned about not enough oil in the marketplace and the price of gasoline being too high. They're demanding that OPEC, specifically Saudi Arabia, increase oil production. At the same time, we have embargoes against Venezuela, which has helped crippling their oil capacity. And we are now taking out sanctions which start right before the elections in our good friends, the Iranians, who love us. And we're starting trade wars. And the people who need to support us, see, we need Europe's support in this trade war with Iran, but we got a trade war with them too. And we need Canada, and we're in a trade war with Canada. And we need England, well, shit, we're in a trade war with England. And we need Mexico to help us on the immigration crisis, and we're in a trade war with them. And somebody woke up and said, hello, Don, you're fighting with all these people at the same time you expect them to help you. How does that work out? How is that the art of the deal? How is that some clever negotiation? How does this make any sense? And the reality is, it doesn't. And the odds are that we are absolutely going into a zone of confrontation that doesn't make any sense. And we are moving into a situation where, oh my God, are we really, really, really ready for what we're doing? Are our businesses really priced in a soaring dollar? Have we priced in trade tensions? Have we priced in loss of market share? Have we priced in higher steel import costs? Have we priced in soybean farmers being decimated? Pork producers? Have we priced in really with the ramifications of all this? And the answer is no. No, we haven't. It hasn't been dealt with. You know, let me tell you a little secret. Donald Trump's getting ready to release oil from the strategic stockpile. Now, that has not been an unusual situation, okay? It's been done before, okay? After Hurricane Katrina, they took 11 million barrels out. After the January-April total energy sales in 96 and 97 were 28 million barrels. We, under Desert Storm, Desert Shield, we did 20 million barrel sales. So this is not something that's unprecedented. In March 14th, they did a test sale of 5 million barrels. So we are absolutely working into a situation where we have lots of options and we have lots of cards to play. But the answer is we're being forced to play these cards. And all of a sudden, we are now moving into an area where we're fighting with everybody about everything. It is absolutely going out of control. You back up and you say, Donald, buddy. You have an immigration problem and a drug problem with drug lords in Mexico. So you piss them off, and now they elect a lefty guy who's sponsored by the drug lords. You have a trade problem with Canada, and you need them to help you with your Iranian situation, and you've pissed them off. You've got Merkel in Germany, you've got her pissed off, and remember, near and dear to Germans' hearts are their car exports. That's their major export, and you're challenging that. Meanwhile, England is facing a real crisis with its Brit exit, and now they're losing America as a customer. Holy shit. We've gone out of the Trans-Pacific Partnership. We've let China now become a major force in world trade affecting Europe. We are losing market share. We are losing influence. We have declared that we want to get out of the World Trade Organization. Trans-Pacific Partnership we've already walked away from. NAFTA is next. I mean, where does this end? Stop the insanity. We are going into the twilight zone here. We have a fight with the border. We're separating children. We got America's up in arms. You just don't like to see babies ripped out of the mother's arms, and can you blame them? And so we are becoming more divisive by the day, and Donald Trump wants to make America great, coal great, but not soybeans great, and pork is definitely not great. And we're not making Harley-Davidsons great again, and we're making steel aluminum great as we're losing more jobs than we're creating in the steel manufacturers. So we are just in a course, and I'm really upset most of all about the Heinz ketchup. I mean, I really like Heinz ketchup, especially the one that has the Tabasco sauce in it. So we are now moving to this area where none of it makes any sense. There is no cohesive plan here. There is no decision about what we really want to do and don't do. There is no adult in the room. There's a president who is running out of control. It is now becoming a market factor. We are now seeing a slowdown around the world in manufacturing, and it's becoming an issue that, frankly, could be devastating to our economy. And the question is why? Under the guise of national security, we don't want aluminum and steel coming into the country? I mean, where does this crazy shit stop? By the way, do you realize that the coal price is dropping around the world and that they're now putting duties on a U.S. coal? We are moving into areas here that we've never been into before. We are fighting with people we never fought with before. We're making enemies out of our allies, and the people who have the greatest threat to us, we're poo-pooing it as we meet with Vladimir Putin. And Kim Jong-un goes, yeah, I passed the mind meld, and, well, I'm making more nukes. Holy shit, why not? Who's to stop me? Donald Trump's my friend. He says I'm an honest guy. A good guy. So we are in a situation where we got a president that's pretty much running out of control, and we are absolutely running into a situation where businesses don't know where they stand. The Chinese is sinking the value of the yuan. The United States dollar is soaring in value. Interest rates are going higher and higher. More and more businesses are not going to be able to pay their debt and not be able to refinance their debt. Americans, on the other hand, are deeply in debt. And we got a sugar high that's going to come with the GDP. Can't wait to see Friday's doctored unemployment report. That's going to be a doozy. And no one knows what's going on. No one knows where Donald is in these issues. And we are seeing a situation where markets are reacting. We got gold, silver, copper, platinum, palladium, all the industrial metals collapsing. Now, let's talk about agriculture prices, okay? Well, what's going on here? Well, I don't know if you understand, but the farmer, Mr. Green Jeans, he's in big trouble. Agricultural prices are plunging, and they are getting uglier and uglier, and all of a sudden you're going, Donald, hello, Don, please, stop the insanity. Give us a break. Holy shit, what are you doing? What is the end game, okay? What is going to be the conclusion to this as we're seeing copper fall out of bed? We are seeing the agricultural markets devastated. Farmers in trouble. You realize we've gone from a $4 bushel of corn to a $3.37. Let me tell you, many farmers cannot make any money at that price. Just ask them. And we are, no one's saying where this is going. No one is understanding the connection, okay? We are moving into an area that we have never seen before as a country, okay? You got to go back to the Great Depression to look at these kind of crazy shit and ask, what in the hell is going on? And the answer is, nobody knows. There's nobody in charge of the game. The president is really, literally whacked out. And, you've got soybean prices collapsing. We're down to, $8.47 beans. Oh, my God. That is, again, another crisis here. He's talking about it. Do you realize how much we're destabilizing our economy? Do you realize what a danger zone we are in? We cannot stand this, okay? We cannot stand these kind of moves. And all of a sudden, people are not dealing with reality here. Okay, you got wheat down to $4.79. Oh, my God. You have got a situation where we are devastating huge swaths of our economy in the name of patriotism, in the name of unfair trade practices that have gone on for decades with our enemies. And they're not backing down. See, they were supposed to get into a mind meld, and then they were going to go ahead and they were going to capitulate, and Donald Trump was going to show them the art of the deal. Well, right now they're showing him that they're willing to get into a toe-to-toe fight with him. They're getting in an ass-kicking contest, and it is getting more serious by the day. We are seeing major reversals in many key markets here, and all of a sudden you're saying, Donald, buddy, baby, honey, sweetheart, Donald, what are you doing? And, we're down to $1,242 gold, okay? We are just seeing these markets go lower and lower and lower and lower. And at some point you say, well, how much damage are we doing to how many different sectors? Iron ore prices are collapsing internationally. So is steel. And all of a sudden, we are now in crisis mode. We are really in things that will lead to a depression. We are really, really in serious jeopardy here, and the story's not being told. No one is dealing with the issue. No one is talking about where the hell this thing ends up here. And, I really fear for people who have no alternative, okay? There are many people extremely vulnerable to this whole issue. And all of a sudden, these voices are not being heard. And all of a sudden, people are not understanding how ugly things are getting and how fast. And I just wonder where this goes, okay? I just wonder how much further, Donald Trump is going to go ahead and push this narrative, okay? How much, he is going to allow prices to drop and the plunge to affect people, okay? We are seeing huge drops in prices. We are seeing turmoil in marketplaces. And we're seeing a president who is really running out of control. I didn't realize until I started running the numbers, looking at things, of how much of our exports and how many of our markets are being affected by this. And, all of a sudden it's getting more and more and more every day. And the trade war keeps growing. And people are saying, well, they'll back down. It's not going to happen. But it keeps happening. And, we got lumber prices that are soaring. The inputs are ugly. You've got a situation where you've got to say to people, we're so sorry. We didn't mean to devastate your business. We thought that we were going to, do the Trumpian. And now all of a sudden people are going, well, Donald, buddy, we can't afford this. Donald, you're devastating marketplaces. You're driving prices to levels that have not been seen before. And remember, we're heading to a recession. So the other thing that's really ugly about this is we are not in a growth phase. I don't care how much they want to blow blue sky up your ass. We are not in an expanding economy. We're in a contracting one. We are in one that more and more people are seeing less and less. We are in an economy with a GDP that's about to go down. We are in a Fed that is raising interest rates at a breakneck speed. We are taking away quantum easing. We're taking away free money. The economy can't stand this. We are not in a position to be at war with everybody. Not by a long shot. You know what? Nobody's listening. Nobody cares. No one understands it. It's just kind of like, it's all on deaf ears. Donald Trump's declared that he's going to make America great again, and by God, he is, and no one's going to interfere with that. Donald Trump is the man. He is absolutely running. Do you realize these events are happening without any discussion? There's no debate. The Congress is not involved in this thing. The Senator's not involved in this thing. It's Donald Trump ruling by decree. He has literally taken onto himself enormous powers that few presidents have. Now, they've all played the game with the executive order, but not to the state of an international trade war, not to the point of where we are literally devastating whole swaths of our economy. This is unprecedented events. We have never seen this before, and the question is, how far is Donald Trump willing to go? And the answer is, as far as he needs to go to get the chumps to vote for him, to get the stupid money to say, oh, by God, that Donald Trump, he's fighting for me. And the problem is he's not. He's destroying trade relationships. He's destroying the NATO alliance. Let me tell you, Vladimir Putin is deliriously happy. Donald Trump's the best thing ever happened to him. Donald Trump is going to take us out of NATO. He's going to take us out of the IMF. He's going to take us out of the WTO. He is basically isolating America in ways that's never been done before. And I can tell you that the Chinese and the Russians are having a party. They are extending their sphere of influence. They're going, well, America's not coming to the Middle East to help you. We are. We're here. They're not. We ran their asses out. America's not going to do trade with you. We will. America's not going to loan you money. America's not going to let you invest. And Americans aren't going to invest in your businesses. We will. Now, the dominant role of the American leadership in trade, in business, and military is now being challenged all around the world. And challenged by some of the most vile, ugly people you could ever imagine. We have a president that doesn't see the danger of Russia, doesn't see the danger of Kim Jong-nunchucks in North Korea, but he regards Canada as a danger. He regards Mexico as a danger. He regards all of Europe as a danger. This is some crazy shit. How does this end up? I can tell you, it's going to end up in a great big recession that you will call soon the Trump Depression. It will end up with America losing market share. It'll end up with America losing power and influence. We are gutting America. We are removing America as a world power. Why? Why? Because you don't like the trade deals? Make new ones. To have this confrontational stance is not the solution, as we are seeing. People are not acquiescing. People are not caving in. Donald Trump is not getting his way. And that's scary to me. Because what is the outcome of this thing? A poor America. America with less international markets, less international investments, less international presence, less international influence. I could see a world where America is isolated and it's that great soybean country, north of Brazil, who's not a player. Nolo contendere. Not at issue. They are not in the game. And I can see the game being run by the likes of China and the likes of Russia. And who knows how evil the European Union is going to become. But we have things moving at ugly paces. We have ugly factors in this thing. And no one's talking about it. Donald Trump is just moving ahead, and who knows what he dreams up next. I mean, I shudder every morning to look at my press release to see what did Donald Trump do now? What did he twit? What did he say? Who is he raking over the coals? Whose business is he seeking to destroy? What relationship is he looking to shutter? And the answer is there's no rhyme to reason to it. It doesn't follow a logical pattern. It doesn't follow a conclusion that will be good for the people concerned. It's strictly, who do I want to piss off today? I'll find somebody. Maybe he's got a dartboard in the White House. The dart hit Harley motorcycles. Your turn. And, more and more corporations are like, we don't want to invest in this thing. We don't know what international clients are going to look like. We don't know where we can do business and where we can't. This whole trade sanctions, this whole tariff wars, this whole on the basis of national security is an absurdity. You know why Donald Trump wants to remove us from the World Trade Organization? Because he knows we'll lose. We'll lose. We will not win this, okay? We have no justification for what we're doing. And everybody knows it. So all of a sudden, we are looking at the twilight zone of American global influence. We are looking at the end of an age of the American Renaissance. We're looking at the end of America power projected around the world. We're not in the Middle East. Okay, we're not a player. China is running us out of the South China Sea. They're moving into the Pacific. We are not players. People are not taking us seriously. All of a sudden, America is seen as obstructionist. America is seen as unfair. America is seen as unwavering. Now, there is a lot to gripe about in trade. There's no doubt about it. The issue is, how are we going about solving this problem? What is our approach? What exactly is the end game? How are we going to get people to see our way? How do you negotiate a trade organization with the World Trade Organization when you're not in it? How do you renegotiate the NAFTA agreement when you're not genuinely negotiating and you're going to leave it? How exactly do we accomplish our goals? And the answer is, you know what the ugly answer is? We don't. We don't. We remove ourselves as a player. We're no longer a contender. And Donald Trump says we waste all this money being the police of the world. Really? Well, I asked the question, how do we end up with so much money to waste? Once you stop being the policeman of the world, then the revenue that being the police of the world generates, you don't have anymore. And as you continue withdrawing from trade agreements, as you suck in your horns, as you are no longer playing the game, you know what happens? I'm going to tell you something. What happens is something very ugly. You no longer get to play. You no longer get to be a factor. You are no longer somebody that anybody wants to deal with. You become non-important. America has mighty markets. Well, the reality is the European market is larger. India is the fastest growing market in the world. China has a huge future ahead of itself. And we're like Britain. We're the has-beens. We're the used-to-bes. We were there then, but not now. We are removing ourselves from the political agenda. We are removing ourselves from the international power base. We are literally taking ourselves out of the game, and we're not replacing it with anything. Okay, let me ask you something. Do you want a bad trade deal or no trade deal at all? I'll take a bad deal every day of the week, okay? I will take a bad deal where the tariffs are high, at least I got something. Because something's better than nothing. And I can negotiate. You know we have huge tariffs against pickup trucks coming in to the country, by the way. Donald Trump doesn't talk about that. We are protecting our industries, too. We have unfair trade deals also. We are making mistakes in our trade like everyone else. We have special interests that get a special deal. The big companies have the big lobbies. There's a much bigger side of international trade in like international banking, the international insurance business, the international online sales business. I mean, there are many, many businesses that we excel at that they're going to get around to eliminating us in that. I don't want to be a steel producer. I don't want to be an aluminum producer. I sure as shit don't want to be a world-class coal producer. I'll take us to be the largest exporter of oil, like that. I'll take us to run the internet, run technology, run the smartphone, run computers, run data centers, run the cloud. Hell yes. Run the Uber car, self-driving car, run on U.S. technology. Hell yes. Autonomous vehicles, autonomous aircrafts. Okay, we really dominate the real important shit, and we're sweating the stupid shit. It's ridiculous. No, I don't want to be the world tuna fish manufacturer. I don't want to be the world steel manufacturer. I sure as shit don't want to be a world-class coal producer. These are businesses of yesterday. I want the tomorrow businesses. You know what the problem with Donald Trump is? Besides being stuck on stupid, he's stuck in a world that hasn't existed for 100 years.